more bags of stuff for Rachel's in
Really?
my car. Somebody gave them to me.
Okay, well, namandabs, 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 namandabs,
Welcome everybody to the final service for May. This is Memorial Day weekend, which is why it's so empty today. The Dharma School kids, I think, are at a camping trip. So they and their teachers are pretty much not here. And also there is a taiko workshop going on, which involves some of our members as well. So this will be an abbreviated service. Led by Certified Minister's Assistant Sharon Sasaki and assisted by a Certified Minister Assistant Arturo Rubio. And our musician, who you got to listen to as we waited to start, is Robert Yamamoto. And welcome. And tomorrow, I believe, Mount Hope is having memorial services. There's various Memorial Day services around the county and into Imperial County that our temple participates in. So, so again, why a lot of people are not here. We will begin with silent meditation. Please put your hands together.
The beauty of the starlit sky. Who can understand this riddle? When countless eyes shine bright with tears of joy, my heart is at peace. There are Buddhas greater in number than the sands that line the Ganges River, who say, whether at noon or night, they will always protect me. My heart hears this and is at peace. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandabs. Namandabs.
And now we will have sutra chanting, Sambutsuge, which can be found on page 43. Or actually, the chant starts on page 44.
Kogen Gigi Ijin Mugoku Nyoze Enmyo Muyo Tosha Nichigatsu Mani Shuko Enyo Kaishitsu Onpei Yunyaku Jumoku Nyorai Yogen Shose Murin Shogaku Daion Koru Jippo Kaimon Shojin Sanmai Chie Hitoku Muryo Shushoke Jintai Zenen Shobutsu Hokai Gujinjin no Kugo Gaitai Mumyo Yokunu Seson Yomu Nino Shishi Jintoku Muryo Kukun Korai Chie Jinmyo Komyo Iso Shindo Daisen Ganga Sabutsu Zai Shoho Kado Shoji Mifu Gedatsu Fuse Joi Kainin Shojin Nyoze Sanmai Chie Ijo Gosei Tokubutsu Fugyo Shigan Isai Kuku Isadayan Keshi Ubutsu Yakusen Okuman Muryo Daisho Shunyo Goja Kuyo Isai Shito Shobutsu Funyo Gudo Kensho Fugyaku Hinyo Goja Shobutsu Sekai Bufu Kage Mushu Setsudo Komyo Shisho Henshi Shokoku Nyoze Shojin Ijin Andyo Ryoga Sabutsu Kokudo Daiichi Doshu Kimyo Dojo Chosetsu Koku Nyo Naion Nimu Toso Gato Aimin Dodatsu Isai Jippo Raisho Shinetsu Shoujo Ito Gakoku Keraku Anon Kobutsu Shinmyo Zega Shinsho Hotsugano Hi Rikisho Shoyoku Jippo Seson Chie Muge Joryo Shison Chiga Shingyo Keryo Shinshi Shoku Dokuchu Gagyo Shojin Ninju Fuke Namandabu Namandabu Ganni Shiku Doku Byodo Sei Sai Dohom Bodai Shin Ojo
And now we will recite our pledge, which can be found in the book on an insert. And that's written by our current Gomonshu, whose picture is above the back door there, if you want to look and see what he looks like. Very formal dress. Our pledge. Breaking out of my shell, I will share a warm smile and speak gentle words, just like the kind Buddha. Not becoming lost in my greed, anger, and ignorance, I shall think and act with an open mind, just like the calm and peaceful Buddha. Not putting myself first, I will share in the joy and sadness of others, just like the compassionate Buddha. Realizing the gift of life I have received, I shall strive to live each day to its fullest, like the Buddha who tirelessly works to liberate all. Namo Amida. Namo Amida. Namo. And now we will have a Dharma talk by our Dharma leader today, Sharon Sasaki.
It's on. Please join me in Gasho. Dear disciples, do not forget that death is only the disappearance of the physical body. Our body was born from parents and nourished by food, so sickness and death are unavoidable. But the true Buddha is not a human body. The true Buddha is enlightenment. A human body must disappear, but the wisdom and compassion of enlightenment, Amida Buddha, exists forever in the truth of the Dharma and in the practice of the Dharma. Those who see only my body do not truly see me. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida. Good morning. Thanks everyone for being here on this holiday weekend. It's nice to see you here. As Katie mentioned, it's a busy weekend. The Dharma School is off in Mountain Laguna on the camping trip, so hopefully having a really great time. And right now, as we speak, or as I speak, the Taiko workshop is going on in the annex. And I had the pleasure of attending that yesterday with kind of a master Taiko teacher. Her name is Kaoli Asano. And yeah, that was an unforgettable day with Kaoli sensei. Yeah, so what else is going on? And yes, yesterday, of course, was the pilgrimage that our some of our members went to Imperial Valley for our annual pilgrimage to Imperial Valley cemeteries, as well as the Pioneer Museum, which I attended last year and really found a lot of meaning. So hopefully everyone will get a chance to do that at some point. Yeah, so yeah, before I start my talk, which is all written out, yeah, I should let you know that I actually found out that my mom passed away this morning. So she actually had been diagnosed with cancer back in 2019. So it's kind of remarkable because she got diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, even though never having smoked ever, back in April of 2019. Yeah, so I found out from my sister this morning that she passed in the Bay Area. So Robert and I are going to be flying back there after the service today. But yeah, so I'm going to move on with my talk. I know she would want me to continue, and yeah. So the opening words that I read are the words of the Buddha when he was approaching death, and discussed the inevitability of change to Ananda and his other disciples. And I thought that quote was appropriate for Memorial Day, as we're observing that. And I wanted to give you a little history of Memorial Day. It was originally called Decoration Day, from the early tradition of decorating graves with flowers, wreaths, and flags. And it's a time to remember those who died in military service to our country. First widely observed on May 30th, 1868, to commemorate the sacrifices of Civil War soldiers. And after World War I, it became an occasion for honoring those who died in all of America's wars. And in 1971, it was more widely established as a national holiday throughout the United States. So today's a day to remember those who passed in military service and thank them. You might consider this to be the most Jodo Shinshu of our U.S. federal holidays. I think you all know that we observe Memorial Days every month here, or actually more than that. For Shotsuki Hoyo, which is a monthly memorial to remember friends and family who passed away that month in any previous year. The English translation, which I hadn't known before, I had to look that up, of Shotsuki Hoyo, is that Sho means joyous, Tsuki means month, and Hoyo means Dharma essence, or the spiritual significance of the memorial service. And you might wonder, what is joyous about remembering someone who passed away? I think there's people who think of memorials as only sad and somber occasions. Here, in addition to the monthly memorials, we also observe Nirvana Day as a memorial to Shakyamuni Buddha, the historical Buddha, in February, and Ladies Takeko Kujo and Lady Yoshiko Otani and the Buddhist Women's Association. We had that memorial in February. On August 2nd, we will be observing Obon, remembering loved ones who passed away as we dance in joy. So again, joy. In October, we observe the Ladies Eshini and Kakushini Memorial. Eitai Kyo is our perpetual memorial service, and we have an all life forms memorial in November. And considered the most important observance in Jodo Shinshu is our memorial for Shinran Shonin, the founder of Jodo Shinshu, and that's our Hoonko service in January. And because Shinran Shonin passed away on the 16th of January, on the 16th of each month, we hold the Gomei Nichi service, and we've been doing it here most months, and chant Shoshinge, the words written by Shinran Shonin in joy of discovering the Nembutsu path. So you might ask, why do we have so many memorial services? And why is it that it seems to be emphasizing more a person's passing away than their birthdays? Although we do have a few birthdays that we celebrate every year, Hanamatsuri and Shinran Shoni's birthday, which was earlier this month. So to answer those questions, we could start with the well-known story of Shakyamuni Buddha, known as Prince Siddhartha before he became Buddha. And you probably all know the story. of Prince Siddhartha, who lived a sheltered life of luxury, and then one day finally left the palace walls for the first time. And who did he encounter? Do you remember? Do you remember, Flynn? So he encountered, an old person. That was, I think, the first. Someone who was sick, and then a person who had died, someone who had passed away. And then the fourth person was a spiritual person at peace. And during those encounters, he realized that he had, riches, power, and privileges as a prince. But there was nothing he could do to avoid inevitable old age, sickness, and death. And this realization caused him an extreme sense of uneasiness or dukkha, concern, and it was the impetus for his search for freedom from suffering and meaning in life. So you may have noticed that a newborn baby or someone celebrating a birthday wasn't among the 4 encounters that Prince Siddhartha had. In our society, birth and birthdays are generally happy occasions. So Buddhism is less needed at those times. It's great to celebrate, and it's wonderful parts of life, but the Buddha Dharma is primarily a way to help us face sadness and suffering. You remember the first noble truth, right? So it's relatively easy to accept happiness. And in America, we do a lot of celebrating. But we seem to avoid experiencing sadness and uncomfortable feelings together. Memorial services help us realize acceptance of the ultimate concerns, the death of our loved ones, and our own death. As Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross says in her famous book on death and dying, fear of death is a universal fear, even if we think we have mastered it. With acceptance of death comes greater meaning and appreciation for our precious lives. There's another book that I got some good teachings from this past week, which is called Rites of Passage by Reverends Arthur Takemoto, Masao Kodani, and Russell Hamada. And it's one passage was, Buddha Dharma teaches us that death is part of life, and that although none of us can predict what may significantly alter our lives, we are always embraced in absolute wisdom and compassion. To live fully, therefore, is to be prepared for all events with trust and serenity. So these words have resonated with me personally in the last 2.5 years. On March 5th of 2023, we took a family trip out to Las Vegas with both of my parents went, and then my siblings, and it was for my dad's 93rd birthday. So we all were in Vegas, and my dad and I saw the Pac-12 women's basketball tournament with UCLA playing his favorite team, unfortunately, Stanford. And so I got to do that with him. And we also saw a really enjoyable old school Vegas review show with showgirls and things like that. And, like the Rat Pack, or, facsimiles of the Rat Pack singing. And my dad really enjoyed that. So that'll be a night I won't forget. And then when I saw my parents off at the Las Vegas airport after that trip was over, I never kind of would have thought that by the end of that month, my dad would have passed away. But yeah, that's how fast it kind of happened for my dad. And as far as my mom, she's always been really the rock of our family, a really strong person. And, she got diagnosed 6 years ago, but she had normal activities, and it really didn't affect her very much for years. it's too bad that COVID happened in the middle of that because, everybody had to stay home during those times and things. But one good thing that came out of that is we started instituting weekly FaceTime calls with the family. So we started doing it every Wednesday and Saturday, having FaceTimes with my 4 siblings and my parents. So, that was kind of a nice thing that came out of COVID that we've still continued to do. So my mom has actually been living with my sister, Rena, after my dad passed away in her granny unit. But this past week when I was there, Rena and I visited our parents' vacant house in San Bruno, where they had been living since 1990. And we have so many, wonderful memories there. And it was like nazukashi. It was a feeling of melancholy and bittersweetness when Rena and I were walking around that house and remembering my mom in the kitchen. She was a night owl unlike me, and she would make her sticky buns at 1 a.m. And then my dad would usually be on this sofa spot with a whiskey and some dried squid next to him, and he'd be watching Turner Classic Movies like Sidney Poitier and things like that. So yeah, those were kind of the memories that went through Rena and me when we were walking through this past Wednesday. But it was emotional thinking that those days were behind us. And I've also been chanting Shoshinge with my mom almost every evening. She's been kind of my practice partner as I've been trying to memorize Shoshinge over the phone. We did it last night as well. We did a family omairi with my 4 siblings who were already up in the Bay Area with her in my mom's room, and we moved the obutsudan into her room from my parents' house in San Bruno. So it was I'm so glad that we did that last night. Yeah. I'll never forget. I could see, because they had the camera on her, and I could see her moving her mouth when, even she couldn't really speak, but I saw her moving her mouth and her eyes when we were chanting. And we also sang Ondok-san, and I could see that she was responding. So that, I was hoping she would, of course, make it till today because I'm flying in this afternoon, but yeah. That's part of life, right? We can't control when someone passes away. So when my mom would say Namo Amida Butsu, after we would chant, I definitely had the feeling that she had felt settled, that she was at peace. And so that feeling gives me peace and comfort, as we're going through this. So I know that my siblings feel the same. That, she definitely feels that she's embraced, and she felt that she was going to be meeting my dad and then her own parents in the Pure Land. And now she's with us as Namo Amida Butsu. So when I say Namo Amida Butsu, that's when I think of my parents. Another story that was a book also resonated with me, which is that on his deathbed, a Zen master was asked by his disciples to leave his dying words. Brush and ink were brought, and the master wrote, "I don't want to die. I don't want to die." The disciples were surprised because they considered those words to be the expression of a person who was not yet enlightened. So they asked their master what he really felt. This time the master wrote, "Really? Really?" The disciples did not expect the words they received, but their master's words were not written in confusion or despair. The master was totally absorbed into the reality of immediate experience, which was his natural unwillingness to die. The honesty and humanness of this Zen master reminds me of Shinran Shonin. In Tanisho, Shinran says that he had no thought of wanting to go to the Pure Land quickly. But this made him reflect on himself, him reflect on himself as a foolish being, possessed of blind passions. But instead of lamenting, this made him realize that Amida's vow of great compassion was all the more trustworthy, and that his birth in the Pure Land was settled. So going back to what's joyous about memorials, there's actually a lot. Remembering a loved one who passed away, their quirks and funny habits, does bring joy. 2, when you remember them, they are with you in spirit. Sometimes I still talk to my dad, and I often picture him smiling and encouraging me when I'm doing things like running. He always really liked when I was doing that. And of course, when I'm chanting as well, I think of him. And then thirdly, in Jodo Shinshu, Amida Buddha never abandons us. At the end of our physical life, we're born in the Pure Land, which is not darkness, but light. We can experience joy that our loved one has become Buddha or Namo Amida Butsu. And that's how I feel now. Amidst the sadness and tears, that my mom is Namo Amida Butsu, and it's very comforting. So thank you to Mom, and Namo Amida Butsu. Please join me again in Gasho. And this is an excerpt from Short Essays on Shinjin, edited by Reverend Taitatsu Unno. Although I may not know you as well, in one sense, I've always known you. Through true and real life that flows in you and me and everyone around us. Because of this true and real life, I love you deeply as I love myself. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo.
Thank you, Sharon, for very heartfelt Dharma message. Please stand for the Gatha Ondoksan, found on page 128. Yorai dai no ondoku wa miyoko ni shite mo hosu beshi shishu chishiki no ondoku mo hone o kurakite mo shasu beshi. Please be seated, and we will have announcements. If anybody has an announcement, find the one I was given to do. No? Okay, I have an announcement for a Dana group program. Buddhist Temple and Dharma Group are once again partnering with Hope for San Diego to provide school supplies to underserved children in our community. Through Sunday, June 29th, we will be gathering school supplies such as pencils, erasers, pencil sharpeners, and more. And there is a complete list of school supplies needed. It's posted on the collections box, which is down in the foyer at the base of the stairs. And I believe also we'll take monetary donations. Arturo? Yes. Also, you can provide monetary donations as well. Okay.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Next Sunday is our temple's annual Bazaar. It's our temple's biggest fundraiser of the year, so we hope that all of you come out to support the Bazaar. We will have different type of foods available, demonstrations, including taiko, cultural activities, games for kids, and the event is from 11 to 4. So if you pick up there's a postcard flyer like this downstairs in the office, and it also has a schedule in the back of all the events, including the vendors that'll be here that day. There won't be any service here on Sunday because of the Bazaar, so we hope that all of you will be able to join us, and also we're still looking for volunteers to help in various areas. And if you're interested in volunteering your time for maybe a couple hours or so on either Saturday or Sunday, there's a sign-up sheet downstairs on the whiteboard in the office, and you can place your name on there for next week. Okay, thank you.
Any more announcements? No? Okay, we will have final meditation. May this merit virtue be shared equally with all beings. May we together awaken the Bodhi mind and be born in the realm of serenity and joy. Namo Amitabha. Namo Amitabha. Namo Amitabha. And that concludes the service for today. You're welcome to offer incense before you leave. And I think there's hospitality downstairs. There is coffee and hot water for tea. And I think there's cookies. So please join us downstairs for hospitality.